we have Jessica Stroop, who I introduced earlier, and Jessica's with Bel Air Cooperative Nursery School here in Bowie.
Hi. Good morning. I was just curious, is anyone familiar with the cooperative model to begin with? Have you ever heard of a co-op, grocery store, preschool, anything? Okay. So I am from Bel Air Cooperative Nursery School. I am a parent there, and I am also the Vice President of Enrollment. The way a cooperative model works is that we have, I'm blowing your mind, we have a zero profit and loss budget. So every dollar we take in, we spend. We are a 501c3 nonprofit. We are a non-secretarian program, and we are a dedicated preschool. We are also the oldest operating preschool in Bowie. We just celebrated our 50th anniversary this year. The reason that we feel like we've been able to survive this long is that as a cooperative model, we are a direct reflection of the community that we serve. So I said I was going to blow your mind. Our tuition for our 3-year-old half-day program is $105 a month. Our tuition for our 4-year-old program, which is also a half-day program, is $125 a month. And our tuition for our 4- or 5-year-old program, and I'll explain what that means, that's a 5-day, half-day program, is $230 a month. We do not employ anyone at the school but our 2 full-time teachers. Okay, so the way a cooperative model works is that the parents do every job imaginable. All right? So in addition to having a schedule where you are a parent helper for the day, you are also required to take on an extra job. And what we found is that the more diversity with respect to parents, families, and talents that we have available to us, the more our school is able to grow. So I do have a full-time job in addition to having 3 children of my own, and membership works and registration works really well for me because I sit behind a desk, I can email, I can stay very organized. We have jobs that are snack cabinet, we have aquarium, we have classroom pet, we have bulletin boards, we have maintenance, we have someone that goes and mows our lawn because we have a dad who said, no, tractor, I'll do it. So we do not pay to have the classrooms cleaned because the parents do it. We don't pay to have them, stocked with different snacks or things like that because the parents will do it. We don't pay to have, our maintenance performed because we have a parent that will do it. We are located at the Christian Community Presbyterian Church on Bel Air Drive. Now, because we are a non-secretarian program, we rent the space from that. Okay, we rent 2 classrooms from that. This year was the first year in 50 years that we expanded to a 2nd classroom. Now, one of the reasons that we don't have, the bags and the banners as lovely as they may be is because we don't put any money into advertising because for the past 50 years we've been in operation, we are fully enrolled. We are fully enrolled for next year already. And that comes word of mouth. We don't have an advertising budget. So we have 45 children right now in our classroom. And that's actually in our school. We are capped at 15 kids per classroom. And every day in the classroom we have 1 full-time teacher, as I mentioned, and 1 helping parent. So if you are a parent for the 3-year-old and your child is attending Tuesdays and Thursdays, you will be on the schedule to assist in the classroom about once every 6 weeks. If you have a child in the 4s class or the 4-5s class that's meeting Monday, Wednesday, Friday, your parent helping obligation is a little bit more like maybe one time every 4 weeks. So the benefit to being a classroom helper is, yes, it helps to keep the costs low, but like me, I'm a person who did not know very much about preschool. I did not know what pre-K, pre-2, 2, 3, young. I didn't know what any of these terms meant when I was looking for a preschool for my child. I just knew that I thought that they were intelligent enough, bright enough, smart enough, and could benefit by getting together with their children, of their peers socially. But I had misgivings about sending my kids somewhere for the day and leaving. They were too young. In my mind, they were too young to sort of send out to the world. So I really liked the idea of being in the classroom and seeing the other children that they were going to be around, getting to know the other families that were going to be part of it, working together as a community. We are a play-based curriculum. We want the kids to have fun, and we want them to learn, but we want them to learn at their pace. And in our minds, the best thing that you can teach your child at this age is social skills, sharing. I mean, we're not going to drill down on phonics and ABCs at 3 years old. That's just not what we do. It's, like I said, it's a play-based curriculum, and we also teach them how to be good community members and good citizens. We are located right next to the Interfaith Food Pantry. So I don't know if you know, you go behind the church and there's the food pantry there, which is a wonderful reminder to our children that you're part of a larger community. You know, because every day you go in and not only do they get to see their peers, but they get to see their peers' families. You know, they get to see other community members in need. They get to see members of the church. And it's really, we have that it takes a village idea behind our curriculum. Because you're constantly interacting and like you get to know these other families so well, your roles are changing and the opportunities are changing. We do a lot of field trips. The children have yoga in the afternoons and they have Spanish and they have music. So we do have parents that come in and will teach our children a Spanish curriculum, a music curriculum, and they do yoga because the yoga studio is next door and they don't have a morning class, and they said, sure, we'll do yoga. And that's generally how our school works. If you have to give, we'll take it. You know, and so the model changes, the kids get to benefit, and you know, it really works out well, and it has been for this long. Any questions?
You did say how many slots are open and how they limited amount of enrollment, how do you get, is there, you have a waiting list or something
We
like that?
do have a waiting list. So what I would suggest is if it's something that's interesting to you, by February of this year, we're fully enrolled for 2013-2014. By February of next year, go to our website and start to look around. We advertise we have a little pull-off in the Starbucks outside of the Giant and then the Giant grocery store in the same way. But if you go to our website, which is bellacooperative.org, it will tell you we fill the first day of enrollment. That just happens every year. So we have 15 kids in the 3s, 15 students in the 4s, 15 students in the 4-5s. And we just run over by one more minute. The 4-5 program was conceptualized because we had a number of parents that came to us and said, my child's not going to be 3 till October 21st, but he could really benefit from being in the 3s. So we have that flexibility to let the child in. They went to the 3s program, they did the 4s program, and then they had nowhere else to go. So we had a 5-day 4-5 program that we started for the children that turned 5 after the fall cutoff. And that's the type of thing that we're able to do in our school because we run it. And any kind of modifications that we need to make to serve the community, we can. Any other questions?
So you don't have before care or after care, it's just a half day?
That's correct. We don't offer before care, after care. And so I can tell you that as excited as I am about the model, it doesn't work for every family because there is a time commitment. And the time commitment will offset the financial commitment. You know, and that's unfortunate, but it's true. And one of the things that we have found in recent years is that it used to be you have, you know, dad work, mom stayed home, mom's the one volunteering. And that has since changed, and that's a reflection of the economy. You know, so in addition to working full time, I'm at the school a lot, but I have the flexibility like that with my job. And we have, believe it or not, I find this interesting, we have 7 full-time stay-at-home fathers at the co-op, which, you know, blew my mind. You know what I mean? I was like, there's stay-at-home dad, that's so weird. You know, it was, you know, something that I didn't, you know, see a lot of. And as a result, you know, the jobs that, you know, they were willing to do were very different. Like, we don't have to have an exterminator. Just a dad who comes in and do it for us. So the time commitment is significant. And there's different jobs, but, you know, if you have the kind of, you know, work from home, or if you're able to say to your employer, look, these are the days that I'm going to be volunteering in the classroom, and I need to take a half day, I'll be an after, you know what I mean? Like, so we're able to make it work.
Thank you so much, Jessica.
I'll be here.
And because we are ahead of schedule, we can invite Joy Mora, the principal for New Hope Academy, to present about New Hope Academy.
Okay. Well, good morning, everybody. I'm assuming everybody here has preschoolers, but are their parents here with children who are older as well? A few. Okay. New Hope. When I heard everybody speak, I realized we have elements of every school in New Hope as well. We originally started out as a group of parents who were struggling with different experiences we're having with our kids in public schools. And we spent 3 years researching the best schools in the country, the blue ribbon schools. We found an old public elementary school that was going up for sale. We put second mortgages on our homes, so there's a lot of commitment there. And we started New Hope, and this is our 21st year. I'm also the mother of 3 children who came up through that program. My youngest was 2 years old when we started, and she's now a teacher in the BC public schools. So So we keep our classes small. We really feel that being able to provide individualized attention for the children is such a critical factor. Probably about 10% of our population are children who've been diagnosed as having some level of special need. It might be that they have ADD, ADHD, dyslexia, slow processing speed. But we look very closely at their testing. If we feel we can accommodate them, then we'll bring them into our program and provide what we call a 504 plan for their accommodations. Probably about 20% of our kids or better would be considered talented and gifted. We have a very strong academic program. Our preschool, however, follows the model of the co-op in terms of we believe that the way a child was designed by God to learn is through play. So we feel if you make learning fun, kids are going to learn. And to some degree, we keep that model all the way through school. We want our children to have a very well-rounded education. We have a trained art teacher, a trained music teacher, a trained PE coach. We teach foreign languages also. We teach Korean, we teach Spanish starting in kindergarten. In pre-K4, we teach American Sign Language. We have a very extensive after-school program that's optional. We had 7 levels of soccer from preschool, pee-wee soccer, all the way up through competitive boys and girls high school. We have a martial arts program, t-ball. Our big thing was flag football for the older kids this year, for the middle school, high school. We are also an international high school. So we had students from, 14 different students from foreign countries this year. China, Korea, Sudan, Syria, Liberia, all over the world. And that is such an enriching experience for all the different ages to have this chance to get to know other young people from different countries. We really we have a very strong academic program, but many people are looking, if you're looking for a paper and pencil preschool, we're not it. Okay, that's the best way I can put it. We do have a very rich phonics-based education program, but we do it in a playful fashion. We teach, for example, in preschool and kindergarten, we teach something called Jolly Phonics, which is a kinesthetic or a movement-based program. So every sound has a movement attached to it, because little kids are always moving anyway. So it's ants, or it's, or So when they're starting to sound out those words for the first time and they come to an M, and they can't remember what that sound is, they look at the teacher and she cues them and they go, oh, So it's fun for them, and they just pick it up. Teachers will do all these words, will do a whole sentence just in movement. The kids will sound it out as the teachers are making the movement. So to them it's playful, but it's a great way for a child to learn. We do the science, we do the social studies. I think it's science this year. We're doing a unit on osmosis, so they had all the carnations and celery in colored water. They were doing a unit on metamorphosis, and they had the silkworms in the tents hatching into the moths. So it is a very well-rounded program. All of our teachers, we're certified by the Maryland State Department of Education as a non-public school, which means all of our teachers have a minimum of a bachelor's degree. Many of them have their masters. Two of our 3 preschool teachers have their masters. And we have a very high retention rate on our teachers. For the last 3 years, I've changed my music teacher. Otherwise, all my teachers have stayed with us. And our classes are small. We close our classes at 21. With pre-K3, of course, I'm not going to go that high. Pre-K4 oftentimes is smaller as well. But from kindergarten on, if we get up to, well, in kindergarten, if I get about 15 kids, I'm going to add an 8, because they just need that level of attention. Also in kindergarten, first and second, we bring in a reading teacher every day for a full 50-minute period. So we break into 3 reading groups in kindergarten, 3 reading groups in first grade, 2 in second grade, because a lot of our focus is on the reading. If you have a good reader, you have a good learner. And a lot of children, not just the decoding either, a lot of emphasis on the comprehension. We brought in another pilot program this year called Reading Plus, which is something they can do on the computer, and they can do programs at home to help them with their reading speed and their vocabulary and their comprehension. So we're very eclectic. Whatever works, we bring it in. We're not a Montessori school, but we use a lot of their materials because they're so hands-on. Our math program is something called Saxon Math, which was originally designed as a homeschool program. It's very hands-on, manipulative-based. So the younger children, if they're working with fractions, we go fraction pies, so they know that 4/8 and 1/2 are the same. We start Saxon in preschool, and we take it through AP Calculus. With our older students, our math program, I think, is very, very solid. We send a lot of kids into engineering programs from our high school. We coordinate all of our math programs from 5th grade on, so everybody goes to whatever level of math they need to be in. So it's mixed age groups from 5th grade on. So if a child needs more support, we can provide that. If they are ready for it and they need more challenge, we can provide that as well.
So do we have any questions for Joy? We are ahead of schedule, so I wanted to take the opportunity, first of all, to thank all our speakers. Thanks so much for coming. I did want to encourage everyone, for the mixture, so we can mix and mingle, to introduce yourself to our speakers, introduce yourself to your neighbors, right? And by all means, with all these resources that we have on the tables, take it and bring it to your neighbor, right? That maybe couldn't come, that has a preschooler and is working today, or is just not aware of it. So pass the word. If you're not already, please go to the Fairwood website and sign up so you're getting the announcements and all the emails. Tell your neighbors. We're doing a lot of building here in Fairwood, a lot of new people. So if you're inclined to do so, introduce yourself and mention all of the activities that we have ongoing, not just the Education Task Force, but the Social Committee, the Security Committee that we have, and that does the local watch and the like. So by all means, take advantage of that. Sonia, do you have any? Oh, I'm sorry.
I just wondered, did you say the pre-K started at 2 or 3? 3. 3, and do you have a website?
Yes, it's on all of our literature here. It's just newhopeacademy.org. In fact, we're getting ready to launch a new one in about 3 weeks, but all the information's up there. It's just not as many bells and whistles as the new one will have.
I guess it's for everyone. Does any school have a school bus or just
For the little ones?
Yeah.
For us, well, because of, you guys probably answer, but for us, for Reed Temple, we offer transportation for our older students, but for liability reasons for the little ones, unfortunately, we can't offer transportation for our little ones. And that even includes for us, for field trips. So we do in-house field trips for our pre-K2 and pre-K3. Starting at pre-K4 is when we put them on the bus to go outside field trips. So that's...
We don't have a school bus either. We have a lot of families who do carpooling and such together. We provide a directory of all of our families, a lot of them connect with each other in that fashion.
That is the case for all the children. With our parents, have a very strong network to help each other, transportation and actually other activities as well. And that's part of a strong independent school, that your parents work together. So see an alumni parent with us. Another alumni parent. Another parent is back.
For the public school system, Head Start does receive transportation, even if you're at an alley boundary school. Pre-K receives transportation, as long as you're going to what would be considered pre-K boundary, even though pre-K is 4. Head Start starts at 3. And then also our early childhood centers, if you have 3-year-olds or 4-year-olds who are going to early childhood centers with disabilities, they will receive transportation door to door, your home to the school. So, but if you're thinking about the inclusive 2 and 3 opportunity where your child is typically developing here, then you would have to provide your own transportation.
I did want to mention one thing. If you were looking to speak with somebody from Maryland Parks and Planning, they weren't able to come today, but just wanted to let people know that they do have a preschool program at Glendale Community Center. I don't know the costs and everything, but if you drop by Glendale Community Center, they have a preschool program that's full year, and they also have a summer camp program for preschool age students as well. So you might want to check that out if that's something that interests you.
I want to mention we do have a preschool program in the summer as well, and a summer camp for elementary age children up to about 5th grade. And that information is also on the page.
And finally, we do videotape these sessions. So this is the second forum that we've had. The first one, we had Glendale Elementary School, and their teachers, the principal and teachers came and presented, and we recorded that. So we'll be posting those either on a private YouTube channel so everyone can access via the internet, as well as the Fairwood website. So for those who missed